Hello and welcome to Thirwood Place. I'm Larry Lyford, and thank you for joining us for our inaugural Taste of Thirwood Place cooking show. I'm joined by Chef John Payne.
Hello.
And John, we're going to start a monthly cooking show with John, and we're going to make some exciting things over the course of a year. So stay tuned. Today we're making quiche.
Yes, we're going to make several kinds of quiche. The beautiful thing about a quiche is you can put all your leftover food in it. You can make it ahead of time for a party down the road. It lasts a good few days in your refrigerator. So I'm going to start by showing you the prepping of the ingredients, and then we'll throw some together.
Fantastic.
In all my quiche recipes, I always add sauteed onions. A woman I worked with a long time ago, this is her recipe. And she says you have to have the onions in every quiche. So that's what we're going to do tonight.
That's good.
It's a special way I cut the onions. Obviously, this is like a Vidalia sweet onion. They're peeled all ready for me, which is nice. And we're going to cut them French style, which is like a julienne. So we're going to split the onion in half after we clean the ends off. And then real thin slices along the side, making like half moons. Really thin is key here. We're going to saute these onions until they're transparent and clear. We don't want them to be brown. If they get brown, the quiche will be cloudy and dirty looking, so we don't want that to happen. I use a little clarified butter. You could use olive oil or even a salad oil in your pan. Put it on a medium-high heat. Got to engage. There we go. And I put the onions in right away. We don't want the pan to get too hot. This way they'll cook slowly until we get to the point that we like them to be at.
Good, like you said, translucent. Yep.
Yes, very translucent.
Yep.
We're going to cool them off before we put them into the quiche.
Okay.
While these are cooking, I'll show you over here we have my ingredients. These are pre-prepared. You can do this ahead of time to keep the time frame down on your actual cooking. But tonight we're going to make two different quiches. We're going to do a vegetarian, well, a vegetable quiche, not quite a vegetarian, and a seafood quiche with shrimp and asparagus. So I have my ingredients already cooked here, prepared, and it's just mise en place. We're going to put it all together when it's all finished.
Great. So you're making two quiches.
Going to make two quiches
like
today.
Like you said. And so one onion for those two quiches.
Yes.
Yeah, you'll divide
one good size onion. You know,
yep.
You can look, you know, when you start making this, you'll know that you have too much onion. You can always use it for something else.
Yeah.
These are a pre-made pie crust. I buy frozen. It obviously would be a lot better if you made your own pie crust. But for the show,
and you know what? It's quick and easy at home.
It's quick
too.
and easy. Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
And today the crusts are really nice, and this is convenient. The onions, we just like I say, we want to keep them moving.
Yep.
We don't want them to brown.
Chef, the good thing about quiche too is that really any time of year,
absolutely,
Valentine's Day brunch,
breakfast, lunch, a nice light dinner in the summer.
Sure.
Out on the patio.
Yep.
It's quick and easy, so I'll show you at the end. After you have your quiche cooked, you can refrigerate it, keep it, and pull it out when you want to have it another day. You have some friends coming over. Quick little thing. You can pre-cut them, put them in the oven, reheat. It's like you just made it.
From the freezer.
From the refrigerator.
Oh, refrigerator. Okay. Could you freeze it too?
I wouldn't freeze it only because it's a custard. The eggs and cream will kind of get
kind of too
separated.
Delicate.
Yeah, they will separate and it won't be as pretty. I mean, you could, but not recommended.
I have one in my freezer right now.
Well, that could be.
I'm probably ruining it.
You never know.
We'll see.
So as you see, the onions are getting nice and soft and clear. We're not letting them brown. It smells good.
It sure does.
And just a quick toss. So for the sake of our production, I've already done the onions.
Yep.
Which I have here. These are already pre-cooked, cooled off. And now it's time to assemble the quiche. Very simple. I have two types of cheese I use here. I have a shredded cheese. It's cheddar and Swiss. That's all I've ever used. You can use any kind of cheese you'd like.
Mm-hmm.
And we just do it in small layers. A little thin layer of cheddar and a little thin layer of the Swiss. Set that here, Larry, for a minute.
Yep, take it.
And now I come with my onions, and it's not a lot of onions. I do a little scantering of onions on top of the cheese. It's just they're almost invisible when they're cooked because they're so clear.
Yeah, you can't even really see
You don't know they're in there.
Mm-hmm.
Slight little layer. And now I'm going to make my vegetable quiche. I'm going to use tomato concassé. This is some wall of Roman tomatoes I cut off, julienned up in a fine little dice. I'll scatter those in there. Some sautéed mushrooms. The trick about mushrooms I learned from an old French chef is when you saute them in your oil or butter, very little of the oil, their water will come out of them. They'll start to render out. Keep them cooking until that water disappears because all that flavor goes right back into the mushroom.
Mm.
Neat little trick.
Yep.
And then the spinach I steamed off. And I'm just going to break this up and put it all through the pie.
Yep. If you didn't have fresh and you had frozen,
Perfectly
pull it out,
fine.
defrost
Perfectly
it for a little
fine.
while.
Yep. Frozen would be great. And then back to the cheese again. I'm going to do another layer of each. Like so.
Okay.
Yep. Thanks, Larry.
Yep, got it.
And then back one more layer of our ingredients. And you don't have to be shy with your ingredients, more the better. I like to end with the spinach on top because it looks really nice when it's cooked.
Mm-hmm. Nice color in that dish.
Okay. The next one we're going to make is a shrimp and asparagus quiche. So I've got some chopped shrimp here, and I'm going to layer those through. Some of my chopped asparagus stems. And again, the same scenario. We're going to start
Cheese.
another layer of cheese.
Yep. Cheddar and Swiss.
You can use any cheeses you like, but this is what that woman taught me when I was a young boy, and I've never deferred from it, and I've always had rave results and excellent people with their comments on how good it is. So
Nice.
stick with something that works. There's our onions again. Do a little more of the chopped shrimps. Now here I have asparagus tops that I saved, the tips, and I'm going to put these around decoratively on top. I'll start like that, and now I have some whole shrimp that I did not cut. We'll use these as our final decoration in between the asparagus spears. And get one for the middle.
Very nice. Yeah, we eat with our eyes.
Yes, we do. This one I add a little chives on top. And now my pies are ready for the custard. And our recipe has all the measurements for you for everything to do it just fine. So here I have a mixing bowl. I'm going to take my eggs.
Great. How many eggs was that again?
This is 6 eggs, six eggs and 2 cups of cream. I use light cream. You can use heavy cream for a more rich custard. I prefer the light cream. It's like right in the middle of half and half in heavy cream. And 2 cups of cream will be just enough for these 2 pies.
Yep.
We're going to whisk this together. And there's a couple secret ingredients in the recipe. You can use or not use. You can omit. You can add anything. The thing about the quiche is it's an open palette. You can make anything you want with quiche. But we'll make sure we get those eggs and cream mixed together good. Now, one of her secret ingredients, which I've never deferred from, she uses celery salt in her quiche. And I've always used it, and everybody's like, oh, what's that? But you just don't tell anybody, and they don't know.
Interesting.
A nice level teaspoon for this recipe will be perfect. And a little 1/8 of a teaspoon of white pepper. White pepper is nice because it doesn't show up in the custard, but you have that nice peppery seasoning.
Mm-hmm.
It just disappears.
Yep.
And the very final secret ingredient, which you don't need to use it if you're a vegetarian, but she uses a chicken base paste. You can get it at the grocery stores. This is not a bouillon cube, but a paste. It's a really intense chicken flavor. No one knows it's in there, but it really does add a unique flavor to the custard. So if you have a real vegetarian, they obviously can't have this. And we get everything going good together. You can see it's a nice, rich-looking custard, and now we just pour it right on top. Kind of nice and slow. We don't want to overfill. When you see it coming, you stop, and then we go on to the next one. Perfect. These are now ready for the oven. We cook these at 350 degrees for 35 to 45 minutes until the custard is firm to touch in the middle and it's a nice light golden brown. So we'll put these in the oven.
Yep. Yeah.
Where'd my oven go? Right here.
Here we go.
Here's our oven. And through the magic of television, earlier we prepared some to be ready for this moment. And here is the spinach, tomato, mushroom quiche already finished.
Nice.
And this is the shrimp and asparagus quiche. A really nice way to serve these would be with a salad. So what we've got here is, I have some pre-mixed greens here. You can do anything you want. A Caesar salad would be nice. Any dressing. I'm going to do a light vinaigrette. And what do I do with the dressing? Here it is. I have an Italian vinaigrette dressing here. I had my tongs somewhere.
Oh, right here.
There we go.
Yep.
We'll just pre-toss the salad. Very nice.
When you make quiche, how long do you have to let it cool before you slice it?
I would let it, that's a good question, Larry. I'd let it cool for 10 or 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Because the custard will be too loose in the beginning.
Right. I think I've cut them too soon, and then it just falls apart, and it doesn't look nice.
So this way, we'll take this quiche and cut it so we have the pretty pieces coming up so everybody gets a nice whole shrimp. Now this has been out of the oven for about a half an hour.
Okay.
I'm gonna go for this one. I'm going to serve that right on the side of your plate like that. On this little pie, this 9-inch pie shell, I get 8 pieces per pie.
Mm-hmm. And did I hear you say this is the standard quiche for Thirwood Place?
Yes, this is our recipe we just developed and tested, and it seems to be very well accepted. So here you go. This is our shrimp asparagus quiche, and this is our tomato.
Would you like?
I would love to try it. It's really good.
Oh, that's delicious.
Isn't that great?
Mm-hmm.
And again, the world is your palate. You can put anything in this quiche.
Yep.
Ham, bacon, goes on and on and on.
Yep.
Sausage, great for leftovers.
Yep.
Now another neat little trick with this is if you now don't finish it, you refrigerate it for a couple of days, and you have friends coming over, you need something last minute. Well, here's a pie we had yesterday that we made, refrigerated, and it's very simple to just cut your quiches. They cut actually a lot easier when they're cold.
Yeah.
And you can take this, set it on a little sizzle platter or a aluminum pie tin plate, right in your oven for 20 minutes, and you're like you just cooked it. And you didn't have to do all this when last minute company idea. It's a really great little dish.
That's great. Well, you made this look really simple.
Well, it is simple when you have your ingredients prepared.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about your background. I know you've cooked it in the resorts all throughout Cape Cod, but
yes.
Tell us about some
Well,
of them.
I worked in a lot of restaurants in Boston in the beginning of my career and in Plymouth. And I got lucky. I had a lot of great mentors, great chefs I worked for. Some of them weren't so great, but you learn a lot. And I worked in some higher end places like Oyster Harbors and Pocasset Golf Club and these kind of places where as a young chef you were able to do a lot of things you couldn't do in a normal restaurant.
Yeah.
Because they wanted to have the best of everything. So
Right.
that was really nice and fun.
Yeah.
But basically the last stint of my career I've been working in some of the nicer hotels on Cape Cod.
Nice.
And
yeah, you were the Red Jackets.
yeah, I was at the Red Jacket for a long time, and here I am at Thirwood Place, and this has been the best drop yet. So
Oh, that's great.
very happy to be here.
Oh, that's great. Well, thank you, Chef Payne.
You're welcome.
So thank you for joining us for our inaugural Taste of Thirwood Place cooking show. If you liked what you saw here, you can see the recipe on our website and the video again, and share it with friends. But yeah, you'll be able to make this at home with our recipe. And join us next time for another adventure. Thanks very much.
See you next time.